Hi, welcome to another episode of What's That All About? So, I'm sure that the fact that I'm doing this episode now is not a surprise, other than the shorts that I've sent out as a precursor. But I have been kind of tiptoeing around this topic for a while. So, I went out and just looked for the top 5 UAP UFO photos and their confirmed ones. So that's another reason why I wanted to share them with you. So let's get started. The first one is called, for me, this is what I called it, the found 30-year-old UAP. Let me explain. It's also called one of the best photos ever taken. As you can see, it's pretty decent. It's also known as the Calvine photo. So on August 4th in 1990, 2 hikers were near Calvine, Scotland, and took a picture of a mysterious diamond-shaped flying object hovering in the middle of the sky. So hovering, it wasn't moving, it was hovering there, wasn't doing anything. For 32 years, this photo that you see disappeared from public view. So, thanks to the efforts of a brilliant British journalist by the name of David Clark, it was finally resurfaced after 13 years of research. Clark found out that the former Royal Air Force press officer by the name of Craig Lindsay had held on to a copy of the last remaining original print and was actually sitting around waiting for somebody to come and want to talk to him about it because, or at least inquire about it if they didn't know he had it, because it's a pretty remarkable, especially 1990. I mean, it's a pretty remarkable picture. So he was just shocked that no one came around for the longest time. So in the photo, a diamond-shaped object can be seen flying in the sky, while a fighter, see it there, can be seen in the background, not far from it. Now, back in 1990, the 2 hikers brought the photo to Scotland's newspaper called the Daily Record. And instead of the newspaper publishing this photo, they handed it over. I hate even saying this. They handed it over to the British Ministry of Defense. It kept it secret until now. But doesn't it remind you of the mass media episode where I say, watch the narrative and the people who are embedded to, put out the disinformation? I don't know why, but that's what rang in my head. The newspaper even took the negatives. So, the Ministry of Defense even took the negatives from the paper, which I cannot believe they just gave up like that. But anyway, so that Clark, the reporter, he told Newsweek, which is where I found this information in the photo, that the 2 hikers have never come forward to claim the photo, which I found interesting. I guess I didn't want to be bothered with all the hoopla, perhaps. The Ministry of Defense said their identities are not expected to, I love this, they're not expected to be revealed until 2072. By my math, that's quite a many years. Now, I'm putting myself on the spot like that. It's stupid. I don't want to do the math. What is that, like 49 years or something? If I'm wrong, just leave a comment. Tell me I'm just way off. But they cite privacy concerns for the reason for that. I cannot imagine what that would possibly mean at 2072. But anyway, Clark had the photo analyzed by a colleague of his, and he's a senior lecturer in photography at Sheffield Hallam University, and his name is Andrew Robinson. And he said that after studying the image, it doesn't appear to be manipulated in any way. So I don't know about you guys, but I'm completely on board with this photo. I think it's just a great find, and I'm glad I stumbled across it because I don't know, it's fantastic. But anyway, the next one I'm going to take you to is actually a more recent one that you may have even seen out there. It's called the Mazel Orb, and it was taken in 2016. And it's an image of an UFO-like object, and it was spotted over the Iraqi city of Mosul. The interesting part about this, and concerning part about this, is that it was taken above an active war zone. or conflict zone. They actually call it that. The object is clearly, it's, supposed to have been classified, and it's being revealed for the first time by Jeremy Corbell and investigative reporter George Knapp. They also have a show. They released it on their podcast called Weaponized, and I actually cannot recommend that show more to you. It's fantastic if you want to talk all things UFO and learn things all about the phenomenon and then the government cover-up. I mean, it's they've got it all too. It's fantastic. And Corbell states that this is the example of one of the UFOs that our military and intelligence communities are looking at. They claim to have, I think it's about 171 outstanding cases as of now out of the 300 and I want to say 49 or 50 that they had come to them in the past year. So officials believe the orb was under intelligent control. And this image has been in the video has been analyzed by experts for 6 years at CENTCOM, which is the United States Central Command. But it still remains a mystery. Like, they don't know exactly what it is. And you can tell it doesn't have, any kind of identifying marks as far as its origin. So it's a mystery. And Corbell also stated for the first time, we're releasing a military filmed image of a UAP over an active conflict zone. This is an entirely different scenario. He goes on to say that this is not just about the safety concerns to pilots and ground troops. Its potential consequences are far deeper, and the scope is now proven to be global. And he's absolutely right. It's pretty terrifying to think that that's, something that could be yet another concern during conflict or wartime, which seems to be all the time now. But anyway, it's just the All Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, which is ARROW. It's the Pentagon's group that is specifically there to study the unidentified objects that come in to their office, but they're still in the dark about it. They don't know what it is. The next one I'm going to take you to is a little unusual because it was seen over New York City, and I think it was in 2020. And I say that, you'll see why in a second. Now, usually when you see UFOs or you hear about them or you see whatever, it's in like smaller towns, rural areas, more isolated locations. But it's like these guys, 3 of them, boom, right in the sky. And it's a guy by the name of Hamid Vitalis filmed these over New York City as he walked to work in Brooklyn across from Manhattan. And he looked up in the sky, and there was 3 orbs, and the lights formed a pyramid. I'm going to be careful not to do this pyramid that looks like the Illuminati. I'll get into that in another time. It's perplexing to say the least, and interesting. There was a plane that flew by these orbs, and 2 of them went out immediately, just vanished from the sky, and the third one just dimmed out slowly, but then eventually vanished. According to the History Channel, UFO sightings doubled in New York City in 2020, so that's why I'm pretty sure it's from 2020. Some of the experts feel the UFOs are attracted to the city lights. It's that whole like moth to a flame theory, I guess, and I'm not really too sure that that's important. The one that I saw, it was a dark night and it was nice stars out, but I wasn't playing with a flashlight. I wasn't playing with any lasers or anything like that. But I know that they have come out or seem to be stimulated by that. Neither here nor there. The FAA still hasn't confirmed the sighting, which I know is shocking, right? An agency that doesn't confirm a sighting. I never heard that before. So this next one, let's go on to the triangle. This image was caught last year, so 2022, and may simply be a drone. Now, that quickly was dispelled when, again, I bring up Jeremy Corbell and George Knapp, because they did release this on their show, Weaponized. Oh my God, I'm just like plugging them left, right, and center. But you know what? It's a great show, so I don't really care. So the Pentagon has confirmed that the photo and video that accompanied it, was a short video, were taken by naval personnel. So, they haven't called it a UAP yet, which I don't really know why. But Susan Go from the Pentagon, she's the spokesperson for the Pentagon. I did mention her in the mass media video episode. And I mean, she's got a job to do, and I understand that. I feel like she just says a whole lot of nothing sometimes, which I'm sure is frustrating to everybody else too. But she mentioned that, as we have said before, to maintain operations security and to avoid disclosing information that may be useful to potential adversaries, Department of Defense does not discuss publicly the details of either the observations or the examinations of reported incursions into our training ranges or designated airspace, including those incursions initially designated as UAPs. Okay, then. So the next one I'm taking you to is called the cylindrical UFO. And now this it's a little tougher to see, but it's there. It's definitely there. A U.S. spy drone returned images of this skinny cylindrical UFO flying near Baghdad. It was a photo taken using thermal cameras. Now, the object had no visible wings, no fins, so it couldn't be a glider or anything like that. It was flagged as a UFO by officials due to its strange characteristics. So if it was a thermal camera, this is clearly colder than everything else around it. And if you know anything about or watched anything like a shuttle launch or rockets launching, planes, anything, their engines create a lot of heat, and there is nothing coming off of this. So, it just stands to reason that it's something else, unidentified. The object also appeared to be under intelligent control. And now, once again, Jeremy Corbell, George Knapp, they put these out on their show once they were confirmed. And, the UFO, it wasn't shot down because it didn't have a payload. There was no visible, weapons, bombs, or anything like that. So it was, it had no danger either to the ground troops, it was determined. So that's why it was left alone, and they just got the great video of it, which, I mean, look at it. It's amazing, And Jeremy Corbell told DailyMail.com that the images were leaked by frustrated United States Air Force members, and they claim that there's a significant number of UFO sightings and incidents that have been buried by the Air Force. And, Arrow, even though they've collected all this information from all these videos and all these things, I mean, nothing further's been released, no answers, no transparency, no disclosure. I sound like a broken record. But everybody does who talks about this stuff, which sucks. Corbell warns, and he's right, that the failure to inform our servicemen and women will put them in harm's way and danger. And that's what the Air Force members are also afraid of, and the personnel. He goes on to say that they've expressed concerns about the transparency in regards to UAPs. As journalists, he and George feel a duty to inform the public, thank God, because, the hell, in situations like this where our representatives have failed to provide the information and have, in fact, obstructed it. Just gets in my craw. I won't swear. Algorithms don't like swearing. I'm glad there are people out there, though, that are taking care of this, because or pushing the boundaries, I should say. I think it's about time that we all push the boundaries, stopped getting so comfortable with what we're spoon-fed, because I think that food is stale and the expiration date's up on it. We need some new stuff. They need to get us some new information. If you liked this episode, please like and subscribe. I'm also going to have a reminder at the end of the video about that. And I hope you are staying happy and healthy, and stay weird, and take care. And I will see you next time. Thanks.